Yeah. Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there, and welcome to the weekend tailgate. That's right, you've made it through another week of school, another week of work, and now it's time to kick back, relax, and enjoy some football here for the weekend. Got a great show planned for you here, a little bit of everything, so make sure you check out the timestamps if you're looking for something in particular. We're going to go through end of the week news here heading into the weekend. A new segment. We got mystery boxes from Pristine Auction Yard. That's right, they're sending me mystery boxes now on a weekly basis. Whatever is in the box, I can choose to keep, I can choose to give away, I can choose to donate, whatever it is I want to do with it. We have that opportunity coming up every single week, and we're kicking it off here this week. I got two big boxes to open, and I'm super pumped and looking forward to that. Also got point spread picks, a delicious recipe by the Tailgate Chef himself, and some DFS picks here for the weekend. Looking forward to it. But now let's just dive into some of the news here, end of the week. And the first thing we're going to talk about is a post that came out not that long ago saying that Mike Davis and Cordero Patterson are basically in a 60-40 split going the way of Mike Davis. Now, I understand that Cordero Patterson is going to be a part of this offense. We kind of touched on that here this week. Now, am I quick to just throw him into my lineup? I'm really not, because Cordero Patterson has been in the league for a long time. We've seen flashes before. It's consistency, and I hate to just buy into one big game and then all of a sudden be reliant on it weekly. Let's see how he does this week. If he's still overly involved in the passing game, if they're utilizing him inside the red zone, then yes, we start to move him up the rankings dramatically to the point to where he becomes a start. But for right now, in an offense that's still kind of I'm not jumping to the conclusions of wanting to start Cordero Patterson. Lamar Jackson, some people were nervous that he missed a day of practice this week. Don't worry, he's back at practice. He should be fine and good to go. A little bit of a surprise. Carson Wentz is actually practicing this week. They were already planning on this quarterback split between Eason and Hundley in Indianapolis, and now all of a sudden, here we are on Friday, and Carson Wentz is practicing, which opens up the possibility to him playing on Sunday. Does that really impact a lot of fantasy teams? Probably not, unless you're in a two-quarterback league. I'm still worried about his mobility or lack thereof, being that he's dealing with dual sprained ankles. Not exactly ideal for a quarterback to try to move around the pocket, but he is practicing, which is an absolute shock to a lot of people. Next up, Odell Beckham. He's back. He's fully healthy. He's not even on the injury report right now. Do they limit his snaps? That's the question, right? Now, they may limit them some, but with no Jarvis Landry there, I still think he's going to be involved. This is not a pass-heavy team in Cleveland. We all know that. I'm not going out there and expecting old-school Odell in his first week back off of a torn ACL. However, maybe you're in a deeper league. Maybe you're starting 3 or 4 flexes. I may take a stab on Odell Beckham here this week, but it's not something where I'm jumping at the bit to throw him right into my starting lineup. Let's see how he progresses. Let's see if he is limited at all. More than likely, since you haven't been reliant on him here the first couple of weeks, you weren't reliant on him because you didn't draft him super early. You have better options, safer options at least for this week, until we can see it with our own eyes on the field. What about T. Higgins? Now, he is doubtful to play, and that is no bueno for T. Higgins owners, who's really been somebody who's benefited from finding the end zone consistently, right? So what does this do? This bumps up the potential of Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase. Also, somewhat limits, I guess you could say, Joe Burrow. One less person for him to outlet the ball to. Do some of those extra targets go to the way to Joe Mixon out of the backfield? I would love to see that. Definitely something to pay attention to. Next up, Elijah Mitchell is very doubtful, which pretty much means he's probably not going to play in San Francisco. And this backfield is something we talked about with the doc here this morning. I'm just going to avoid it altogether as of right now until we can get a clear cut, at least 1A, 1B in this offense, some health in this backfield. Not something I'm jumping to use this week regardless. And then Antonio Gibson, Ron Rivera has come out, said he is good to go. Well, we shouldn't be worried. A lot of people down on Antonio Gibson because of the start of the season and because of J.D. McKissick. Don't give up on Antonio Gibson just yet. The schedule gets super easy to where maybe they can utilize him on the ground more with late game leads. That's what it's all about, because his second half schedule is absolutely juicy. But now it's time for a little bit of fun. I've been waiting for this, because maybe you've seen in the corner, just barely off camera, you've seen these boxes for the past couple days here in my studio. And what this is is items from Pristine Auction. Now, maybe you followed us here throughout the offseason and you saw that we gave away stuff every single week. Autographed jerseys, autographed footballs, whatever it may be, we were giving it away. That's all from Pristine Auction, and they love themselves some Headliner Nation. So they contacted me and said, hey, we want to do this every single week. We want to send you mystery boxes. You have no idea what's inside. Open it up here, and you can do with it as you so choose. If I want to give it away, I can give it away. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start opening weekly mystery boxes, and if you're interested, you got to hit that like button and leave a comment down below letting me know what items you're interested in, because you never know. I may just pick you randomly to get one of these items, but I can't wait any longer. I've been looking forward to diving into these boxes right here. Now, maybe you're not too familiar with PristineAuction.com. Maybe you've never heard of them before, but they're the most trusted auction site when it comes to all things sports memorabilia. Every single week, you can find autographed stuff from your favorite fantasy football studs over at PristineAuction.com, with items starting as low as $1 and thousands of auctions ending daily. You have no trouble finding something for your man cave at home, I promise. I don't care if you're new school, you're just getting into collecting, you're looking for some Patrick Mahomes, some Derrick Henry, maybe you're old school, looking for some Bo Jackson, some primetime Deion Sanders, maybe even Barry Sanders. They got you covered there as well. All items at PristineAuction.com come with a certificate of authenticity, so you know you're getting real autographed material. Plus, I'm going to get you a $10 off coupon. If you head over to PristineAuction.com right now, create a new account, and use the promo code Headliners, you're going to receive a $10 off coupon off your first purchase. It's going to help you get started into your collecting. Plus, it really helps support us over here on the channel as well, and we greatly appreciate it. But now is the time. Let's bust into this mystery box and see what we got here this week. All right, so here we go. I don't know the best way to do this. This one box is like absolutely... Actually, they're both big boxes. You know, big guy, big boxes. Anyway, we're going to save this tall one for last. So I'm going to bring over this big guy let me see if I can get it up here. It's a big box. Big box coming from Pristine Auction. Feels like there's a lot of stuff in here. Sounds like they're hooking us up over here. So let's see what it is. Let's cut open this bad boy. Be very careful, right? You want to slice anything on top. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it is full. Oh boy, we're gonna have some fun here. Great packing, don't need it. Packing, don't need it. Oh yeah, I'm seeing some big boxes in here. What do we got? All right, first thing, let's look right here. What is this? Got an envelope here. It's sealed. What do we have here? Ooh. We got ourselves... Oh, wow. Nice. I didn't even know they had this stuff. There's cardboard in there to keep it safe. We have a Sports Illustrated magazine. When is this from? What is the date? I gotta find the date. It's autographed by John Elway. You have a old school, I'm talking way old school, Sports Illustrated magazine. Bombs away, autographed right there, John Elway. Sticker right there for authenticity. This is not... It's like I want to open it up, but I'm scared to open it up. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I gotta see how old it is. I mean, this is an old magazine. Wow. I had no idea that they even did stuff like this. I gotta be careful with it, because it's like old. You know what? I'm not even messing with it. It's old. It's coming up. It's like vintage. Okay, so we're not even gonna... That is awesome. I didn't even know they had these. I'm on Pristine Auction all the time. Had no idea that this was even a possibility. That's cool right there. All right. Moving on. What about this right here? Oh, baby. Now, you see who it is. You see the team name, right? Who would your guess be? Would I be excited over somebody that you've never even really heard of? No, probably not. It's going to give it away. one of the best tight ends in all of football. We have ourselves an autographed George Kittle, San Francisco 49ers football. This is awesome right here. We've given away some footballs, but George Kittle, I love me some George Kittle. Out there, George Kittle is one of those guys that just has fun playing football, right? We've seen him in the past, go out there and really enjoy himself. He's laughing as he's run blocking, as he's pancaking people. A lot of great stuff there. Love me some George Kittle. This one, I'm going to have a hard time giving this one away because I am a huge fan of George Kittle. But this is awesome. San Francisco 49ers autographed ball. That's sweet right there. All right, next up. What do we got here? We got a little box here. What do we have? It's a bobblehead. It is a Mr. Pristine bobblehead. That's cool. I mean, heck, I can put this up. I got plenty of things to put this up on a show. I like that Mr. Pristine bobblehead. All right. Wasn't aware of Mr. Pristine, but I am now. I'm still kind of shocked about the John Elway autographed Sports Illustrated magazine. That thing is like legit old. It smells like your grandma's house. You know what I mean? Like it smells old. Like that's just what it is. All right. Last thing. We got a helmet. Whose helmet do we got? Just open it up this way. Oh, yeah. All right. Currently injured, however, one of my favorite players of all time, somebody who's very passionate about the game of football, a wide receiver with great hands. He's got great hands. He played at LSU. It's a autographed Jarvis Landry Browns helmet right here. This is awesome. Another thing, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to part with these. I mean, that is sweet right there. The Browns logo in the back, Cleveland across the back. Nice. There's the autograph with the certificate of authenticity right there. Jarvis Landry, number 80, Cleveland Browns. That is... Could I wear this thing? I can't. I can prop it up like this, though. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is awesome right there. Great look. That may look good in my studio here, is what that may do. But hey, we're going to be doing these things, like I said, every single week. They're sending us over mystery boxes. But as good as that is, we still got the big one left. We've got an autographed John Elway magazine, an autographed George Kittle football, a Mr. Pristine bobblehead, an autographed Jarvis Landry helmet, and I still got the big box left. What? Oh, mama. It's got a lot of stuff in it. What? This is... Okay. Y'all, open up another tab. Go over to pristineauction.com right now. Set up that free account. Use that code headliners. I thought there was like one thing maybe in this box. No. We have first item up. Another member who's currently hurt, but there's a huge following for this team out there. We talked about him in our injury show earlier today. One of the best, if you're looking at just pure talent, one of the best talented running backs in the league. Doesn't get utilized as much, and then there was an offseason signing here this offseason that we really thought would hurt his value. Started off pretty good, found the end zone a couple times, but now he's hurt. How about an autographed Josh Jacobs Raiders jersey? A lot of Josh Jacobs fans out there. If you're a Josh Jacobs fan out there, I can probably put this one up for giveaway. The other ones, I'm still thinking about. But the Josh Jacobs jersey for sure, I'll be looking to give that away to somebody. What about some though? I don't even know where to begin. Let's go with this. This is cool. I mean, come on. I don't even know who signed it yet. Wow. So I could be a little bit inappropriate and show you like this part of it. because that's kind of what's going on right now over here. You see the autograph on it. This is a pylon. That's a pylon right there from an NFL end zone. Any idea who signed this bad boy? Oh boy, you have no idea. I'll even show you the signature right there. I'll give you a hint. Old school, right? I'm talking about this guy, one of the all-time greats that we have ever seen play football. Ever, in my opinion, and I know I'm older than a lot of people out there. Barry Sanders autographed pylon. What? That is just cool. I'm just gonna leave it sitting there. Can I leave? Can I? Yeah, I'll just scoot over more. I mean, that is awesome. And we still got more. What is this? What? Nah. How about a shoe autographed by Clyde Edwards-Helaire right there? That is nice. Got ourselves a neon yellow Nike autographed by CEH right there. Got the name on the top. Now, I've seen, it's a legit cleat. This isn't just some, fake shoe that's made out of plastic that they autographed. We got ourselves a legit Nike cleat here, autographed by the man himself, CEH. Anybody interested in that? Maybe. I don't have any shoes in here. I could use a shoe, I guess. But yet, there's more. Next. Now, very relevant right now. Very, very relevant. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's somewhat upset about what maybe just happened. But still, arguably, talent-wise, the best overall running back in the NFL. Currently hurt, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that it's not too bad, because we got ourselves a signed CMC jersey right here. Christian McCaffrey. Bam. Being here in Carolina, seeing... Dude, they're hooking it up. They are hooking up Headliner Nation. That is what this is all about right here. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you doing? Sign up now. And now we got... Oh, wow. This is very, very packaged well. That's it. I'm cutting it. The packing, not the item. Don't worry. It is very well protected. When they ship it to you, they're going to ship it the right way. Because this is a framed, another layer of bubble wrap. You can see through it, though. We can see through it. That is Lamar Jackson. Oh, yeah. Somebody's going to want this. Am I going to give it away? This is sweet. I can put this up right next to me. Bam. Lamar Jackson. Right there. An autographed jersey number. Framed picture with Lamar Jackson. Inscribed down here, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens quarterback, 2018 NFL Draft, round 1, pick 32. Whoa, just look at the way. That just goes with the background. You know what I should just leave it right around in here. Can't cover it, Barry. Sorry, Barry. Yeah, this is sweet. If this is just the start of a year, you better get over there. You better hit the like button. You better make sure you tune into this show every single week, because we're giving away all kinds of stuff. We got a Christian McCaffrey jersey, a Josh Jacobs jersey, a George Kittle football, a Barry Sanders pylon, a CEH shoe, a John Elway autographed Old School Sports Illustrated box, a Mr. Pristine bobblehead, and an autographed picture of Lamar Jackson. It's just like Christmas. Y'all, I am I am super pumped right now, and I'm super excited to be able to do this every single week. Do us a favor, though. Head over to pristineauction.com and just create that free account. Get yourself that $10 off coupon, because in case you see something you really want, more than likely it's available on their site, and I'm looking forward to doing this every single week. But now I've worked up some hunger. Now I'm a little bit hungry. We got to throw it over to the Tailgate Chef and see what he's got cooking here for us this week.
Hey everybody, it's John here with the Fantasy Headliners Tailgate Pick of the Week. This week, we're going to be doing a Nashville hot chicken sandwich. Y'all come on, check it out.
Do it without a shirt.
Wardrobe change.
Wardrobe!
Alright, let's work on this batter for this Nashville hot chicken. So I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of cornstarch. I got some salt and pepper, smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, a little red pepper. Alright, I got some chicken breast here. They've been marinating overnight in buttermilk and Louisiana Red Dot hot sauce. It's about a quart of buttermilk and about a half a cup of Louisiana Red Dot hot sauce. Shake the excess off. Roll it in the flour. Coat it good. Shake the excess off. Back in the wash. Shake the excess off. Back in the flour. Pull that off, set it on a rack over here to the side, let it dry out just a little bit. Shake it more than twice your plate. It's mine, I can play with it if I want to. Alright, now we're going to work on our sauce for our Nashville hot chicken. Got a quarter cup of butter, quarter cup of lard. I don't recommend you tell your cardiologist what you've been eating when he asks if this is what you had. Got some smoked paprika, red cayenne pepper, garlic powder, fresh ground black pepper, brown sugar, and a little crushed red pepper. I'm going to set this over here on the side on the black stone. Let it melt, come together. Get out of here before I throw you in that hot grease. We got our oil hot, about 350 degrees. We got our chicken that's been resting. We're going to put it in there and let it fry. Oh, look at that. One of the good things about using this black stone like this, sometimes you just got to deep fry stuff and there ain't no substitution for hot oil. Alright, so now my chicken's getting about done. Got a pretty gold brown. It's floating. Check it. You want to get that to at least 165 degrees on the internal temperature. And when you fry this chicken, you want to put it in the pan and leave it alone. Flip it one time. You don't want to keep flipping it and flipping it. You'll just knock the breading off of it. You want to put it in, leave it alone, let it sit. Alright, now that we got our chicken ready, toasting my buns, put a little butter on them, toasting my buns. Chicken's cooled a little bit. Put it up there. Got my sauce here, shake it up a little bit. Pepper flake hung in my bottle. Make a bigger damn hole in my bottle. Throw a couple pickles on it. Hope you enjoy it.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Now, I love when that guy comes over and cooks some food because it is delicious. But now let's turn our attention to those of you who want to have some friendly wagers. Maybe you're looking to make a little bit extra money here this weekend. Cool. We're going to bring in our own Justin Freeman here from runthesims.com to give you a few DFS plays of the week.
What's up, headliners? Justin Freeman here from runthesims.com. We're going to go over our weekly DraftKings breakdown where we're going to go through the entire slate position by position, rapid fire style, to see who is looking like strong plays this week over on DraftKings. Without any further ado, why don't we fire up the classic optimizer over from runthesims.com. And my favorite way to sort this thing and get the most utility out of it is to sort by our optimal rate. Optimal rate is going to tell us exactly how often any player is going to project to be the number one player in the lineup. That means they are in the best possible, highest scoring lineup available on DraftKings for this entire slate, and we'll go position by position here. Quick reminder, go on over to runthesims.com. If you like what you see here today, use code headliners at checkout. You can get 10% off your premium subscription for the year, so go be sure to do that. We also have a free account set up. You can join our newsletter. That won't cost you a thing. That's runthesims.com/headliners. So let's hop into quarterbacks here. And we're starting to see some ascendant play here from Lamar Jackson, starting to look a little bit closer to that MVP form that we saw a couple years ago. Obviously, Lamar struggled a bit last year. Now he's priced up at $7,800. And, there's just so many ways for Lamar to get there, taking on the Lions, who have just been horrible on defense, have been letting opposing running backs especially score at will. We saw a 4-touchdown game from Aaron Jones. Granted, a lot of that was through the air. However, we know the Lions' run defense has been terrible for a number of years now, and Lamar Jackson is practically a running back. $7,800, is going to be one of the more expensive prices on the slate. However, I think that's a strong matchup for him here against Detroit. Number 2 on our list is Josh Allen. So let's not forget about Josh Allen, obviously starting to regress a little bit coming off of last year. And you say that, but they still had a 35-0 win over the Dolphins last week. So the Bills are going to be just fine. Josh Allen did not have to put his foot on the gas here. The Washington defense starting to show a little bit of holes. Obviously came into the season looking like they might be one of the top 5 defenses in the league. They haven't quite lived up to that billing so far this year. At $7K gives you a little bit of salary savings off some of the more high-end guys. Obviously, you see Kyler $83 and Patrick Mahomes $8,200. Josh Allen will save you about $1,200-$1,300 off of those guys. If you really want to save, number 3 on the list here is Daniel Jones at $5,800. Jones's usage on the ground, has been slept on. Obviously, last year, Jones had a pretty down year across the board, especially even for fantasy. And a lot of that had to do with the fact he was battling through lower body injuries. And the fact is, he's much healthier looking this year. And we see Daniel Jones has a tendency to want to call his own number on the ground. And that's sort of a theme among all 4 of these top 4 players. They all have rushing ability. $5,800 against the Falcons' leaky defense. This is a game that could potentially get a bit more high scoring. We saw the Falcons come back to life a little bit in the second half of last week. So Kyler Murray, number 4, $8,300, taking on the Jags. I mean, you see a couple of really good matchups here for some of these top quarterbacks, but $8,300 is a big price to pay for Kyler Murray, but he is worth it. I mean, the Cardinals have been looking fantastic, and Kyler Murray is just so involved with the scoring part of this offense. We just have not seen them find a ton of success on the ground in the red zone through their running backs. That means Kyler Murray is basically going to be involved on every touchdown. And then rounding out our top 5, Patrick Mahomes, perhaps no surprise, going up against a pretty talented Chargers defense. But we all saw the last week matchup between Dallas and the Chargers. We all expected a shootout. It did not shoot out. Could this one here between Kansas City and the Chargers shoot out a bit? Perhaps. You just got to figure out whether $8,200 is too much for you there for Patrick Mahomes. To be quite honest, there's really never a time where paying too much is a problem for Patrick Mahomes. Moving on to the running back position, and salary is going to be a factor in sort of the things that we're looking at here this week, and it helps you get up to some of these more premier quarterbacks if we can save a little bit of other positions. Let's talk about Alvin Kamara, $8,200, going up against the Patriots defense. Not the best matchup in the world, but Alvin Kamara is going to get his points through such a variety of ways. It's really tough for him to get game scripted out. However, we did see that happen last week against the Panthers. So, I would have probably called Kamara a game script independent running back, meaning he can win no matter what happens on the field. But the problem is the Saints just could get absolutely nothing going, and despite being heavily targeted, still once again target leader on the team, Kamara just did not get there on the fantasy side. Number 2, Chris Carson going up against the Vikings. This is a true shootout type of game. Everybody for the Seahawks may be along for the ride here. We saw Carson get bailed out by a couple touchdowns. Did not have a truly good game last week against the Titans, but I think better days are ahead for Chris Carson, particularly when Rashad Penny is not playing. So I think hold your breath and play Chris Carson. I think it could work out fine. You want to attach your guys to shootout type of games. Number 3, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Everybody's giving up on Clyde, understandably so. It's been a long time since we've seen anything useful out of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. However, $4,800, starting running back for the best offense in football, simply too cheap going up against the Chargers. Number 4, Najee Harris. This has a lot to do with workload here for Harris. Perhaps not in the best situation. That offensive line has not opened up a ton of holes here for Harris. Going up against the Bengals, some cause for concern there. And number 5, Mike Davis, going up against the Giants here this week, $5,100. Everybody's obviously super high on Cordero Patterson right now, understandably so. It makes a lot of sense. He's starting to eat into Mike Davis's workload a little bit, but at $5,100, that's just not enough salary there for Mike Davis, who is super involved in the pass game and in the run game. If we see this team get in close to the red zone, his role could grow a little bit there too. Sort of rounding out the top 10 there, you see Darrell Henderson, a guy we're keeping our eye on for an injury standpoint. Dalvin Cook, similar. Antonio Gibson limited in practice earlier this week. DeAndre Swift dealing with a groin injury, and Chase Edmonds there for the Cardinals. Let's move on over to wide receiver. And Cooper Kupp, once again, popping towards the top of this list. He was right on up here last week. $6,800 going up against the Bucks. And you got to love this. Chris Godwin, his opponent here, $6,100 going against the Rams. Those are both great plays for you this week. And it makes sense because Chris Godwin is now going to be getting, being a part of a narrower target tree in Tampa Bay, with Antonio Brown expected to miss this week with COVID. That's going to really thin things up. It should be a real 3-man show instead of a 4-man show if you include Mike Evans and Rob Gronkowski as part of the rest of that trio. Justin Jefferson, $7,200. Let's not forget about this guy. It's been a while since last season since we saw a true breakout type of game for him. But man, this is a dream spot here against the Seahawks. $7,200 for Justin Jefferson. Marvin Jones, still not priced up high enough. We've been on Marvin Jones this is our 3rd straight week. Jaguars taking on the Cardinals, $4,900 from Marvin Jones. He's the number 1 option in this offense. You don't need to know too much more than that. And then rounding out the top 5, Sterling Shepard for the Giants, $5,900. He's just going to be the PPR monster. If you're playing Daniel Jones, I would certainly recommend stacking him with Sterling Shepard, who's been out targeting all the rest of his teammates. If it looks like we may be getting Evan Ingram back in this game, in which case it could, sort of ding the middle of the field targets for Sterling Shepard, but still, I'm okay riding with him there at that price. And then, I'm going to bring this one up. Number 6 here on the list, Adam Thielen, $6,700. Does give you a second option if you're interested in pairing around Kirk Cousins with Justin Jefferson. Let's look at the tight ends really quick. Darren Waller, number 1 on the list here, despite his $7,400 price tag, going against the Dolphins here in this game. Waller obviously just commanding target share, the best among tight ends in the league. Tyler Higbee, $4K. Tyler Higbee is basically our punt option for the week. If we're looking for salary savings, and it looks like we probably are, he makes sense as a way to hitch your wagon to another high-scoring game here against Tampa. He's out there for every single snap, running almost every single route, rarely staying in for protection. Number 3, Travis Kelce, another big dog here, $8,200 going against the Chargers. You need me not to talk you into Travis Kelce, I'm sure. Mark Andrews, $5,000 against the Lions. And then his opponent here, again, I love seeing opponents popping up here in this same view. TJ Hawkinson for the Lions, $5,200 going against the Ravens. Both these guys looking like strong plays for the week. Should be focal points in their own offenses. It looks like Hawkinson has carved out more of a definitive role as the leader of that offense. Andrews, we're just still seeing him run a lot of routes and not get as targeted as heavily so far this year. I do think that will change, and going up against this Lions D, Andrews is my preferred option to stack around Lamar Jackson. So, we won't talk too much about defenses. We'll leave that for somebody else to get into, but that'll do it. We'll go position by position here. Again, if you're interested in playing with this optimizer here, go on over to runthesims.com/headliners. Get you 10% off any premium subscription when you subscribe. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you again next week.
Awesome, Justin. Appreciate it. But for those of you who want to maybe place a bet on the game itself, right? You're looking at some point spreads. You don't know what to do. Don't worry. Our own Chris Chouse back in the house talking point spreads here for the NFL schedule in week 3.
Headliner Nation, what is up, man? Chris Chow's back again for Point Spread Picks, week number 3, man. 2 weeks in the books. Last week's record was sitting at 8-8. I mean, 500 record is never a bad thing. We got enough wins to cover some of the losses, but hey, you know, it's still on the equal trend. We did win some money. Season record sits at 18-14, so 56%. I will take that all day long. Hopefully, we can do better and get a lot more wins this week, so let's dive right in. First game is Washington at Buffalo. The Bills favored at 7.5 points. I mean, Buffalo looks good on defense. Very strong offense. You know, they seem to still have a little bit of inadequacy. Washington, on the other hand, I mean, they showed very well, a lot of heart in their win last week against the Giants. I like it. I think their defense is sound. They will move the ball decently. They will give the Bills a competition. 7.5 points. I'm going with Washington plus 7.5, even though the Bills should win. Chicago and Cleveland. Cleveland -7. Justin Fields gets his first start in the NFL. I mean, this is going to be a good one. I think, you know, no Landry, potentially OBJ coming back to play this one. If both of them aren't in on the field, they're going to have to utilize that run game. I think the Browns win this game, but it's going to be a lot closer than what the 7 points indicate. I'm going Chicago plus 7. Baltimore -8.5 at Detroit. Baltimore looked fabulous winning against Kansas City last week. Should continue versus Detroit. Lamar wasn't inactive due to a stomach injury in practice on Wednesday. He should be just fine. Detroit will have to try and compete. I mean, the reason I'm saying last week, especially with Detroit, that they could be a point spread killer, and it is very possible. But in this contest, I mean, even though it is at home, I think Lamar runs all over the Detroit Lions. Even though that they could kill this spread late, I'm still going with it. I'm gambling, man. -8.5. Let's go Baltimore. Los Angeles Chargers going up against KC and Arrowhead, and -6.5 for Kansas City. I mean, you got to think Kansas City's going to come out really strong in this one after their performance last week against Baltimore. But I mean, Herbert, you know, he's pushed KC so far in his young career enough to get it to the brink of 3 points being a likely outcome. But I got to side with KC. After a loss, I mean, Andy Reid is a magician, but I mean, I think I'm going to gamble here. I'm going to go LA Chargers plus 6.5, even though the Chiefs likely win. New Orleans going to New England -3 for the Patriots. As good as New England has appeared so far, I mean, it's the competition that I got to say is the staple of concern. The Saints, they came off a goose egg last week. It was a horrible performance. Hopefully they get back on track looking like they did in week 1. I am going with LASIK surgery, Mr. Winston, New Orleans plus 3 in that regard. Atlanta versus the New York Giants. Giants at -3 points. I mean, this was the toughest game on the slate for me to evaluate. The Falcons and the Giants are both 0-2. The Falcons' defense is as terrible as we thought they were. They have a very difficult time stopping anybody. The offense is going to have to continue to move. Hopefully, they don't have mistakes again this week, and then the Giants, can't take advantage. The Giants should unleash Barkley this week, and that's kind of what I'm banking on in this one. The run game gets going. They have too many weapons for Atlanta's defense to stop. I am going with the Big Blue -3, even though it's a tough one. Indy versus Tennessee. Tennessee at -5. The reason the spread is so big is because Carson Wentz is likely not going to suit up in this contest, and they're preparing for it to be no Carson Wentz. So Jacob Eason is going to be the guy, and it's a little bit scary, man. He's got a good arm. He's got good potential, but I mean, it's not going to be as favorable offensively. Tennessee found Mr. King Henry big time in that comeback win last week against the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans -5 at home on strength of Derrick Henry. Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by -3 points. Cincinnati looked terrible for most of the game. Ended up coming back a little bit last week. Big Ben is hurting, but he has said it's pain tolerance. He should likely play, so a little bit more on the ground game. I want to think with Najee Harris, a little more dump-offs. I'm going to gamble with Pittsburgh -3 at home. Arizona going to Jacksonville, -7.5 for the Cardinals. I mean, here we go. Arizona was tested last week. Won, luckily, off a missed field goal for Minnesota. Jacksonville still looks like, they're uneven. Trevor Lawrence throwing interceptions all over the place. I mean, I don't like the travel with the spread being 8 points, but you know what it is? Kyler Murray, he has looked phenomenal, and it's the Jaguars. I am going to gamble here as well. I'm going Arizona -7.5. New York Jets, man, they looked horrible last week. This week they're going up against Denver. The Broncos favored by 10.5 points. Bradley Chubb is out, and that is a big loss for Denver's defense. Zach Wilson, like I said, he looked awful last week, throwing interceptions to almost everybody on the field. I mean, he should do better this week after watching some tape and seeing what he can improve on. Denver has looked impressive overall. with Teddy Two Gloves, and I think that they're going to continue feeding Cortland Sutton, and this was kind of a surprise for me, but I think they get to the ground game. I think they move the ball a lot. You know what, I can't do this 10.5 though. I really can. I think the Jets are going to improve this week. I think the Jets, if they do not compete, they're going to kill this spread late. 10.5, I'm going to say plus 10.5 for the New York Jets. Miami goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, minus 4 points for the Raiders, and I mean, this is no surprise. No Tua, he is out for a few weeks with a fractured ribs. Brissett is going to take over. Vegas has looked unbelievable on defense right now. They're finally starting to utilize Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, and company. They look like a full meal deal right now. Derek Carr is injured, so definitely watch that injury report. Even still, if he doesn't play, I mean, it's a huge loss if Nate Peterman is the quarterback, and then I don't like this spread whatsoever. But as of today, we got to go with what we know, and all I know is that Derek Carr is looking on the upside of starting this contest. I'm saying Vegas wins, and they're going to cover minus 4. Tampa Bay minus 1.5 versus the LA Rams. This was another difficult one, but I mean, look what Tampa Bay did versus Atlanta. They just took it to him. No AB in this game. He is out due to COVID, so I mean, they lost one weapon, but they got so many, it's not a big loss overall. The Rams, you know, they held on to beat the Colts last week with a lucky fashion, giving up a turnovers and giving up points. I think this is going to be a very good test for both clubs. Even still, I got to go with Tommy touchdown minus 1.5. I think they find a way to win this game, even on the road in LA. Seattle minus 1.5 going to Minnesota. I mean, they're coming off that devastating loss to the Tennessee Titans. That may come to define their season. Losing games like that never is a positive. Seattle dropped a big lead, and they lost in overtime, like I said. Minnesota also coming off that devastating loss to that field goal that was missed late in the game and losing to the Arizona Cardinals. That could be devastating for them as well moving forward. I think Seattle has a bounce back. They've looked very, very good so far this season. Russell Wilson will continue to throw the ball. I'm going to go with Seattle minus 1.5. Sunday Night Football, man. Green Bay Packers at the San Francisco 49ers, minus 3 for San Francisco. I mean, the Packers looked a lot better last week on Monday Night Football. Granted, it was the Detroit Lions. Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers looked very sharp, and hopefully I think they're going to continue that dominance. San Francisco, on the other hand, they continue to have inadequacy and issues in their running back room with injuries. Who is going to play? They got a slew of guys coming into play. I mean, this is going to be a good game on primetime. San Fran's defense is still very strong, very loaded, but I really like Green Bay. I think that they found a little bit of what their problems were from week 1. They've accepted that and moved on. I'm going to go with the Pack, man, plus 3 points, even if they lose this game to San Francisco. Monday Night Football has a nice one, man. Philadelphia versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys favored by minus 4. This is a trap game, 110%. Vegas is wanting you to bet on those Cowboys. I'm not selling right now, man. I think the Cowboys, they looked good. They looked better they did last week. And I mean, they could have no Amari Cooper this week. That's interesting. We'll have to keep our eye on that as well. It's on Monday. However, I do like the Eagles. I think their front line on the defense is very strong. And, you know, Jalen Hurts, he's got to get back to business, man. Finding Smith, finding Reagor. This is what made you so good in week 1. So I expect the same thing from the Dallas versus the Dallas Cowboys, I should say. And I think the Eagles will turn this one out. Even if they lose, it could be a 3-point game. This has 3 points written all over it. I'm going Philadelphia plus 4. So there you have it, man. That is week 3 point spread picks, man. Let's hopefully get that money. I wish you nothing but luck as always. So until next time, we'll see you next week. Good luck to everybody. I am out.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. And now we've covered basically everything for week 3, right? We've gone through waiver wire pickups early in the week, starts and sits for all positions, rankings for all positions, injury updates, late week news, point spread picks, DFS picks. Everything has been covered. And now it's time to head into the weekend. So if you could do us a favor, hit that like button. Plus, you want to do that anyway. Hit the like and leave a comment down below because you don't know what I might just give away from the mystery box of Pristine auction here coming up soon. So make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We got great stuff coming all year long for you. But now it's time to kick back, relax, head into the weekend. So have a good one. We'll talk to you later.